What up, Dokkanners? A very new interesting wrinkle has just emerged in the Dokkan data files, as the data download for JP has given us some very interesting things that I wanted to talk about in today's video. Now, I do want to mention that nothing is 100% confirmed yet. Based on the files, there's a pretty strong theory out there, which we will talk about, but nothing is 100% confirmed. So in terms of this video, this is mostly speculation. So, things could totally change in a few days, as they typically do whenever we do these sorts of data download videos. But I still want to talk about it because this is very interesting. Given that my leading theory for worldwide is going to be something Future Saga based, this massively boosts my confidence in that thing being a reality. Future Saga feels like much more of a possibility with this new revelation. So Rick was the first to tweet this out. Basically, the data files, the various lines of code here. I mean, this is not really lines of code. This is basically just showing the different terminologies. But Dokkan field is the new phrase that has emerged from all this. What is a Dokkan field? Well, based on this, it exhibits the same sort of traits as a passive skill. A passive skill has all of these different components: ID, name, description, timing, efficacy, all that stuff. And a Dokkan field has a similar list of components. So basically what this means, you don't have to understand the main meaning of all this stuff, but basically the point is these two traits behave similarly. Dokkan field efficacies, passive skills, they behave similarly. So what that basically means is that a Dokkan field could essentially be an extension of a passive skill. Remember how the standby skill, the finisher skills, when they were first shown in the data files, we didn't quite know what those were. We had some ideas. Standby phase was kind of like a different form of a passive, and then the finisher would be like an alternate super attack. Ultimately, now that we've seen the passive or the standby and finishers, we know that when a unit goes into standby phase, they have a new set of passive abilities for the duration of that standby phase. So in that same light, this Dokkan field could ultimately be something similar. When what we're thinking, the leading theory right now, is that this Dokkan field could be something similar to that of a Yu-Gi-Oh field card. So if you guys are familiar with the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, or perhaps you've seen the anime, or maybe another card game entirely has something similar, basically a Yu-Gi-Oh field power bonus would be something like Yami. This Yami card, for example, it provides a stat boost to all Fiend and Spellcaster types by a certain amount, and it also happens to nerf fairies by the same amount. So this card, oh, I was hoping for a picture. I guess it's not really. We go here. Yeah, this field power bonus will provide a boost to certain characters. So in that same light, we could be seeing something similar with this new Dokkan field, where if it creates a backdrop of the innards of Buu, right? Take, for example, Budokai 3. This makes you think of Budokai 3 stages. All the different stages in Budokai 3 could essentially be backdrops for Dokkan now, courtesy of Dokkan field skills. Let's just say there's a Buu that shows up and he activates his Dokkan field, his domain expansion, and now you're fighting inside of Buu. Maybe Majin power characters see a bonus and perhaps Potara characters do not. Maybe they get a nerf, right? I say Potara because, in the anime, in Dragon Ball Z, Vegito's fusion got disrupted because they were inside Buu, so maybe they do something similar. Thieving 6, one of the leading minds in the Dokkan data mining community, has this to offer. Dokkan fields. A field can be attached to one or more cards, specifically to their passive or active skills. So that kind of means a field power bonus could ultimately influence a passive skill. Maybe a passive skill might say, can launch an additional super attack guaranteed if in the appropriate domain field, or if in the innards of Buu Dokkan field. Or maybe active skill can only be used in a Dokkan field. Field triggers based on its own conditions. Fields can have turn durations. Maybe this could be a permanent thing. Maybe this could be temporary. So based on whatever unit that creates the Dokkan field, maybe it's only a 3-turn thing. Because essentially, if we break it down, and it's going to be what we think it is, a field power bonus, that's essentially a support, right? We've got support units already in the game. Turles provides 40% support to extreme class all allies, 40% defense to extreme class allies. So now let's just change that around. Let's just say, Turles provides a 40% attack boost to all allies, but a 40% defense boost to, I don't know, terrifying conquerors while in the Dokkan field, and then you see in the background a tree, right? That's, it's an extension of a support. Fields can have complete full multi-effect passives, so basically this could mean that there's going to be more facets of the Dokkan field and its various abilities. There will be a field button on the card related to the field details. So this button has already been shown in the data files. It's basically like a biome or a series of biomes. You got the rocky fields over here. You got a forest or jungle over here. You got the volcanoes. So this is why it just really makes me think of field power bonuses. This is the button at the top. Everything else has already been in the game, but this one at the top is new. And yeah, it just comes back to Yu-Gi-Oh! That's all I think about. Toon World, Yami, Field, Wasteland, UA Stadium, all those different types of fields. They will all provide specific supports. No special flag hiding fields. A field could appear in a future data download without an APK. Fields would have an animation effect on the background. So this could also probably add a pretty hefty extra file size to the data download, because with all of these now, you know, slowly rotating backgrounds. I mean, I don't know if actually that would really be the case, because all of these backgrounds already exist in Dokkan, right? Like, if anything, this is going to retroactively make people more aware of like all the different backgrounds in various events. Like, for example, if you're doing a Future Saga Dokkan event, you see, you know, the ruined lands of a city, the ruined waste of a city in the background, all on fire. Or if you're doing the Broly Red Zone, you see the snowy hills in the background. Then you've got like the lava pits once the AoE Broly emerges. All of that will now actually add another layer of significance. New causalities is in Dokkan field, is in specific Dokkan field, is in sub-target typeset. This is basically just coding for things like the passive for the Dokkan field might affect certain characters, or it can only be activated in certain Dokkan field areas. That's basically what this is. New efficacy, new classes, new animation functions, new attack calculation functions. So all of these different things being here just really feels like this is going to simply just be a field power bonus. Now, again, why does this connect back to the worldwide download celebration? Well, because the worldwide download celebration and the anniversaries typically are the times where Dokkan introduces a new mechanic, something groundbreaking, either in the form of a new busted character or a new mechanic altogether. Normally, I think the new mechanics typically happen during the anniversaries, the yearly anniversaries, whereas the worldwides are basically upgraded versions of those same things that are introduced in the anniversary. But this time around, we could be seeing a bit of a different story, because 8-year anniversary did introduce the standby finisher stuff. Maybe now this is going to introduce the second half of the new mechanics by providing some sort of a zone, a proximity-based ability, which will then in turn amplify standby and finishers even more. So for example, let's just say, for example, the Goku Black Rose gets announced as the Dokkan Festival LR for part 1, right? His ability, he will implement, I don't know, a World of the Gods Dokkan field for 5 turns. And then he goes into standby phase. While in standby phase, and he's in the Dokkan field, he will launch a finisher that does Ultra Supreme Mega Quadrillion damage or something like that, you know? So I think something like that is now probably more likely to happen, and I think that also significantly boosts the likelihood of that being Future Saga. Because the only other thing that really comes to mind as far as a blatantly obvious Dokkan field would be Boo. And I'd like to think that Dokkan is not going to repeat worldwide celebrations from the past. We've already had a Majin Buu Saga themed celebration, which was back when we had Boo Tanks and STR Vegito. I don't particularly want that to happen again. I would like to cover more different areas of Dokkan. Future Saga is a woefully underrepresented part of Dokkan's lore, and it desperately needs new villains. That is the main reason why I have been saying for the longest time, while I want Tournament of Power to be worldwide download, I think Future Saga is the best fit, and I have been slowly more and more coming on board with this. And quite honestly, I think Tournament of Power can wait at this point. If this is what we're potentially going to be seeing, a domain or Dokkan field sort of mechanic, I would like for it to be these guys, because I think the Rose and the Zamasu would be the perfect vehicles to introduce a pretty cool new mechanic. And I hope that it ends up being a rousing success. So that's pretty much all that I got for this one. Like I said, nothing is 100% confirmed. All we've got right now is the info from all of our big brains in the Dokkan data mining community. Look at me not using the term field too much. As soon as more information emerges, I will let you guys know in upcoming videos, probably worldwide download related. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments your own best theories as to what this Dokkan field could entail. Do you have any cool ideas for what new mechanics we could see? What sort of backgrounds we could see for Dokkan fields? For me, the first ones that come to mind would be like, you know, Tournament of Power stage, Goku Black's World of the Gods, Infinity Stratosphere, Zamasu, whatever, Innards of Boo. What other cool backgrounds or Dokkan fields could we see moving forward? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you know you're going to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.